We can take you through why this call was made in Mississippi, why the characterization was made in Missouri, and what we can already tell you as a result of this about the delegate race, the all-important delegate race. First of all, we set this up. Mississippi will have the highest share of black voters of any state to vote this cycle. Here is what it looks like. Joe Biden, 84% of the black vote in Mississippi. Again, this is two-thirds of the electorate. Bernie Sanders with 13%. If you went back in time to 2016, when Bernie Sanders had so much trouble with black voters, his share in Mississippi back then was 11%. In 4 years of time, he went from 11 to 13 in Mississippi. Basically no improvement there for him. Take a look at the black vote in Missouri tonight. Again, this is a little bit less than 1 in 5 votes out of Missouri from black voters. You can see a 75 to 22 Biden margin over Sanders. This in Missouri. Again, Missouri is too early to call right now with Biden ahead. This is actually worse for Sanders in this exit poll in Missouri than he fared with black voters there 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I'm just looking at the numbers right here. I have it written
32.
down. He was at 32. So he's 10 points worse. Now, we also set this up a minute ago. White college, white non-college. Missouri and Michigan in particular, these groups loom large. These groups were important for Sanders, non-college especially 4 years ago. Take a look here. White non-college in Missouri. This is a group Sanders won 4 years ago in Missouri. Tonight, he is losing this group. He is trailing this group 53 to 40, a 13-point advantage for Joe Biden. There has been a lot of talk about Sanders slipping with non-college white voters, perhaps because some who favored him in 16 were more voting against Hillary Clinton than for Bernie Sanders. Perhaps Biden, a more acceptable candidate than Hillary Clinton to this group of voters. A 13-point advantage in the exit poll for Biden over Sanders. We say, what does what we just went through mean for the all-important delegate race? We can show you right here already the numbers. If you've been paying close attention, they have changed since you tuned in. So far from Mississippi, as a result of that poll time close, 21 delegates have been added for Joe Biden. There are 36 up for grabs. 21 of those 36 at least, our decision desk says Joe Biden will win. You can expect that number to rise. It is very significant that as we allocate 21 of those 36, at least 21 of those 36 to Biden, so far at poll closing time, 0 have been allocated by our decision desk to Bernie Sanders. What does that mean? It means that based on that exit poll, our decision desk is not completely confident that Bernie Sanders will hit 15% in Mississippi. When all vote, you have to hit 15% statewide to tap into that statewide delegate pool based on that exit poll. He certainly could. He did last time. He did last time by a point. He got 16% in Mississippi in 2016. He's going to have to hit 15, 16 again this time. We are not yet confident that that's going to happen. It could. We want to see the results come in. So, again, you can expect from a delegate standpoint that Joe Biden is going to end up with the lion's share of those 36 delegates from Mississippi. What does that mean just in terms of the raw delegate race, by the way? If Biden were to get like 30 out of Mississippi tonight, it means that even if Bernie Sanders won Michigan tonight, where there are 125 delegates, if Sanders won Michigan by a point or two, he'd probably net 5, 6, 7 delegates, something like that out of Michigan. A narrow win, he'd net 5 to 10 delegates probably. He's going to lose probably a net of about 25 or so, maybe more, out of Mississippi. This landslide, this absolute landslide victory for Joe Biden in Mississippi from a delegate standpoint is probably the single most valuable thing anybody's going to take out of this night.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.